Welcome back to Cask and Point, and Merry Christmas Eve. Today is day 24 of our new Era Bourbon Club Advent Calendar. So it's the penultimate video where we get to try the 25 fun, funky, mysterious samples throughout December. I'm really excited, but I'm also sad to finish this series. It really has been a lot of fun. But let's get into day 24 because it's not over yet, and let's see if we can get a pretty good guess and find out what we're drinking. On the nose here, it smells like bourbon. Now, I will note that in day 23, we were told that it was part of a Christmas flight. Now, there have been a few flights throughout the series, such as day 18 and day 19, where we had two different bourbons that were finished in the prisoner's wine, and I haven't really been following those at all just because I thought it made more sense to do the daily videos. So we may be getting something that is supposed to go up against the I.W. Harper that we had in day 23, and something that is maybe similar that makes sense to go up against it, or maybe it's something totally different. I don't know. Let's find out. So like I said, there's a little bit of caramel on this. I guess I said that this just smells like bourbon, so it smells like caramel. There's some baking spice in this, but not a ton. A little bit of nutmeg, which is actually pretty nice. Some oak, some vanilla. Similar to day 23, there isn't really any fruit here. I'm getting a bourbon-y flavor profile, very typical one, but no fruit. Let's try it. Interesting. So, there's a good amount of punch on that, and I'm really trying to figure out the proof here because yesterday I thought we were drinking about 110 proof, 105 proof, and we ended up drinking an 86 proof. However, it did end up being 15 years old, so it makes sense that at that proof there's just a little bit more flavor than I would have expected. I'm not typically drinking a ton of 15-year bourbons here, but this one's also a little bit hard to tell, as it has a lot of flavor at the front palate, and then it does die pretty quickly. On this one, though, there really isn't any fruit developing here. I am getting that same caramel, baking spice, oak combination on the front, mid, and late palate here. And then it kind of just turns into a little bit of pepper towards the end, but it's pretty standard. Let's take a second sip and see what else we can pull out. It's good. It's nothing special. And that's the funky part about this. That I feel like I'm drinking a bourbon, and I'm drinking a totally classic, standard, normal bourbon. Like, there is nothing special about this, which is a little bit disappointing. And I would expect that in day 23, 24, and 25, at least one of them should be a new Era Bourbon Club pick. And it's just going to prove to us that that pick is just better than other things on the market that are pretty similar. Because this is honestly very similar to what we had yesterday, where I'm thinking this is drinking around 6 years. I think this is a Kentucky bourbon. I think we're at 110 proof. But yesterday we were at a 15-year and 86 proof. And I was totally off. But it's smelling and tasting like kind of a higher proof Blanton's here. Nothing too special. Definitely thinking we're in Kentucky. But let's really try to sit with this a little and try to really pick this out. Because if this is a higher age or lower proof, I really want to see if we can figure out a little bit better here. See, when I really smell it, I am getting a little bit of dill. But there is some punch there. And there is some nice, like, musty, funky oak as well, actually. Which actually may indicate that this is older than, like, a typical 4 to 6 year bourbon. That smells good. Like, it smells very pleasant. It smells like bourbon. It's just not fruity, and I tend to like my fruit on whiskey. I like my fruit, and I like my oak. This gives me that oak, which I like, but I like fruit and oak if I can. But let's take a third sip here and see if we can dissect a little bit better. I don't think the proof is that high. So, I'm actually convinced that this is probably closer to the 90s proof. I don't think this is actually 100, 110, because it is drinking a little bit flat on these further sips here. And at 110, 115 proof, I would expect a little bit more flavor. But if we're at 8, 9, 10, 15-year bourbon that's 90-ish proof, what the hell could this possibly be? There aren't that many things that fit that criteria. This is really similar to the rare character KBT that I kept predicting in day 23, and it's really similar to day 23. I think I like it slightly more, but it's like ever so marginal. Like, I'm thinking this is low 7s as opposed to 7.0. Let's, I'm going to take the fourth sip here. I'll give it a final guess. We'll find out what we're having. Man, I don't know. I don't think it's high proof. I do think it's a little bit older because I am getting a lot of oak later into the palate. I am getting a lot more of that. It's good. I'm going to rate this a 7.2. I think it's better than the I.W. Harper that we had yesterday. Not much better, pretty similar. I think this one is actually giving me a little bit more oak, which is interesting because yesterday we had a 15-year. But what could this be? I don't know, because I don't know that many 15 years. It could be Calumet 15. That would fit all the criteria. I believe that's in the 90s proof, and that's 15 years old. And I thought it's half decent. And this could be Barton. I'm going to go ahead and guess that just based off of yesterday. I don't know what this is. Let's check day 24. So day 24, I'll put it on your screen as I'm looking. We have a couple photos here, and of course we have a little bit of an explanation. Let's find out. Doc Swenson, 107.2 proof. Okay, so it was a little bit higher proof than we thought. And I'm sure this is pretty old, though. Let's see if we can figure it out here. Aged 15 years. Okay, so it was a 15-year, as kind of expected from yesterday and the oak that I was pulling out there later on. I've actually been told that the Doc Swenson 15 years are amazing. It's good, but it just doesn't, nothing stands out in this. Like, nothing is really shocking me here. I'll take the final sip here with you guys. But, yeah, nothing there stuns me. Really impresses me. I mean, maybe I could see it, like, rating, 0.1 higher or something, but I don't know. It's good. Definitely overpriced for what it is. Let's see. Distilled in Kentucky, selected and bottled by distillers and Washington State, actually. Okay, so this is sourced, probably Barton at that proof and that age. T-Straight Bourbon Whiskey, age 15 years. All right, let's check the notes. So Doc Swenson's Exploratory Cask Series, Kentucky Straight Bourbon, release number 11, age 15 years, proof 107.2, bottle 243 out of 1890. So probably like 15, 20 barrels there, maybe even more. And then Christmas Flight, day 2. So we don't really get any extra information on here, but that's interesting. I'm expecting day 25 is going to be a 15-year as well. I just wonder what it could be. This proof is definitely slightly higher than I was expecting. I thought in the beginning it tasted like that. I thought it kind of mellowed out a little bit. Could just be because my palate was warm. But that was fun. Hope you guys all enjoyed it. It's Christmas Eve, so I hope you spend tonight with your family. I hope Santa gets you some nice gifts tomorrow. And I'll catch you all on Christmas for day 25 and the final day of the New Era Bourbon Club Advent Calendar. Cheers.